For decades, the name Seagal meant one thing: bone-crunching Hollywood action. It was a brand built on Aikido, broken wrists, and blockbuster films that defined an entire era. The name alone conjures images of a martial arts legend, an icon of impossible toughness. But the next chapter of that legacy isn't being written on a movie set. It's being forged inside a WWE ring. And on August 12, 2025, the wrestling world was absolutely stunned when Steven Seagal's daughter, Arissa LeBrock, made a shocking and dramatic debut on Monday Night Raw. This isn't just another story about a celebrity's kid playing wrestler. To understand why that moment sent shockwaves through the industry, you have to know the incredible story of what happened before the cameras were on. A story of a shattered dream, a devastating injury, and a brutal comeback that proves she is far more than just a name. To really get her journey, you have to understand the massive shadow Arissa LeBrock was born into. She's the daughter of two cultural icons. Her father is, of course, Steven Seagal, the Aikido master who became one of the biggest action stars on the planet. He wasn't just another action hero. He was a legitimate 7th Dan black belt in Aikido, and the violence he brought to the screen felt terrifyingly real. His brand of martial arts wasn't about flashy kicks. It was about brutal, surgical efficiency. Her mother is Kelly LeBrock, a supermodel and the star of 80s classics who defined an era in her own right. Arissa grew up in the crossfire of these two worlds, the art of brutal combat and the art of polished performance. That kind of lineage is a double-edged sword. Sure, the name gets you noticed, but it also places an impossibly heavy burden on your shoulders. Arissa has talked about this pressure, about constantly hearing, "Oh, you're Kelly LeBrock's daughter. You're Steven Seagal's daughter." Her response was always simple: "No, I'm me." While she initially followed in her mother's footsteps with a successful career as a plus-size model, even starring in the reality show Growing Up Supermodel, another part of her heritage was calling. A different fire was burning, one that connected to her father's world, but in a way that would be entirely her own. Arissa began seriously training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This wasn't some celebrity hobby. She became a dedicated and fierce competitor, earning respect and building a foundation of real combat skill. That unique mix of marketability, charisma, and legit toughness put her on a collision course with professional wrestling. In December 2019, the wrestling world lit up with an unexpected headline. Arissa LeBrock was at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando for a multi-day tryout. For any aspiring wrestler, that's the golden ticket. The PC is a state-of-the-art dream factory, but it's also a meat grinder designed to push athletes past their breaking point. Her name alone made her the talk of the tryout. But in a business that prides itself on paying your dues, a famous last name can be a target on your back. This was her chance to prove she was more than a name, and then, crickets. The trail went cold. In the fast-moving world of WWE, Arissa LeBrock became a piece of trivia. A what-if story that just faded away. That silence fueled a storm of internet rumors, with people spinning tales that she couldn't handle the pressure or had been secretly blacklisted. The myth was born. Arissa LeBrock got her shot, blew it, and disappeared. But the truth is far more tragic. The reason for her disappearance wasn't a lack of talent or a bad attitude. During or shortly after that grueling tryout, Arissa suffered a severe, career-threatening injury. The dream was ripped away, not because her heart wasn't in it, but because her body failed her. She later admitted the injury, and its aftermath sent her into one of the darkest places of her life, saying, "I had become comfortable in the darkest, worst place in my life." For most people, the story would end right there. A dream deferred isn't always a dream denied. Just when it looked like her wrestling story had ended, her phone rang. On the other end of the line was a man who knows everything about legacy and struggle. Dustin Rhodes. Dustin, son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and known to millions as Goldust, is now a revered coach. He spent his entire career navigating his father's massive shadow, and he knew exactly what it felt like to be judged by your last name. He heard Arissa's story, the potential, the injury, the setback, and offered her a lifeline, an invitation to move to Austin, Texas, and train at his school, the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. For Arissa, that call was the jolt she desperately needed. She left California behind and went all in. The Rhodes Wrestling Academy is a world away from the polished WWE Performance Center. It's an old-school, gritty gym where the only thing that matters is respect. Here, Arissa wasn't a celebrity's daughter. She was a student starting from square one. Dustin was blown away by her work ethic, saying, "She's come off of modeling in California and things like that. She's doing a great job, but this is only the beginning for her." He saw her connecting the dots between her raw martial arts talent and the unique psychology of pro wrestling, and made a bold prediction. Pretty soon, the whole world's going to be talking about Arissa LeBrock. After months of quiet, grueling work, her moment came. In March 2023, Arissa competed in the Rhodes Wrestling Academy's Student Showcase, her official public in-ring debut. It wasn't a giant arena, but an intimate setting in Texas. When she made her entrance, the transformation was complete. She wasn't a model or an injury statistic. She was a professional wrestler. That debut was real. It was earned. And it was the final chapter of her comeback, leading directly to that unforgettable night on Monday Night Raw. On August 12, 2025, Arissa LeBrock finally walked into a WWE ring. The reason her debut was so powerful is because it was the culmination of that very real, very difficult journey. When she stepped through those ropes, she carried the weight of her legacy, the pain of her injury, the darkness she overcame, and the grit she forged in that Texas gym. Her debut match was against Victoria Blackwood, and the clash of styles was instant storytelling. Where Blackwood was a polished WWE superstar, Arissa was something else entirely, an authentic, legitimate fighter who had earned her spot the hard way. From the moment the bell rang, it was clear this wasn't a gimmick. Arissa moved with a cold, predatory calm, using fluid, almost invisible movements rooted in Aikido and BJJ to redirect her opponent's attacks. Every move was precise, efficient, and agonizing. The commentators were stunned, scrambling to process what they were seeing as the rumors of her failed career were being destroyed before their eyes. When Arissa locked in her final submission, it was a quiet, powerful moment of vindication. With her arm raised in victory, she had proven that the myths were wrong and that a new, dangerous force had arrived in WWE. A moment like that doesn't just create a new star, it creates a new reality. The wrestling world is dominated by historic families like the Anoa'i and Rhodes dynasties, but this debut announced the arrival of a new, dangerous legacy. One that blends Hollywood martial arts heritage with legitimate in-ring brutality. Arissa LeBrock's story is proof that a legacy isn't just what you're given. It's what you build. She didn't just accept the legacy she was handed, she is redefining it through her own grit. She has proven she isn't in wrestling to be famous. She was already famous. She's in wrestling because she chose the hard road, overcoming a devastating injury and the crushing weight of her lineage to earn her place. She didn't just knock on the door that was closed on her in 2019, she built her own entrance, brick by painful brick. Her journey gives her something every wrestler dreams of, an authentic, compelling story. Now that she's finally arrived, the question is no longer if she belongs, but how high she will climb. She has the look, the pedigree, the skills, and most importantly, the resilience. She has turned herself from Steven Seagal's daughter into Arissa LeBrock, the professional wrestler. So what do you think? With her debut in the books, is Arissa LeBrock the future of the WWE women's division? Is she a legitimate, game-changing champion in the making? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story of resilience, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the most incredible stories in wrestling.